everybody. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit about rhinos. If you've got any questions in the talk, feel free to put your hand up and we'll fire away. The big man coming over, his name's Umfana, and that actually means little boy, believe it or not. And he's a southern white rhino. So the word white, W-I-E-T, means wide in the Afrikaans language. So wide-mouthed rhino, also known as a square-lipped rhino. Umfana hasn't been here for too long. He's only been here for about 3 years. He spent a lot of his life at Dubbo, and before that he's from South Africa, so he's actually born in the wild, which is really cool. We don't know his exact age because he was born in the wild, but we estimate him to be around 32. In about 2007, they actually brought 8 rhino in from Africa, and that was based on the poaching rate and genetic diversity. So throughout Australia there's 8 wild boars, Umfana's one, and we have a female next door called Umquali, and she's another, and then the rest are around Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, but Umquali is with a friend. Her name's Savannah. She's a 13-year-old. She's from Australia. So we hopefully can get him into their mid-40s if everything goes right. So at the moment he's a bit past his prime, but he's still got many years left in him. Yeah, so we hopefully, like I said, into his mid-40s, but the oldest one in captivity actually lived to 53, which is pretty cool. Pretty good innings. If you check out his ears on a day like today, they will be pivoting all the time. There you go, like that. Individually as well, so he's always listening, and he actually pinpoints sounds from up to 2 meters as well, which is a pretty cool adaptation. He has phenomenal sense of smell, but he has a really bad eyesight, so you can only see around 30 meters in front of him. That's it. Then he goes pretty much blind to fuzzy, fuzzy to blind. Most of his behaviour is actually governed off what he hears, not what he sees, and that's why when you see rhinos 180 or do something a bit silly, it's usually something they've heard, not what they've seen. Because sometimes we say they see ghosts, but they probably don't. They just, yeah, like I said, heard something from really far away. Check out his skin. He's more of a grey colour. Like I said, the whites of their misinterpretation. More of a grey colour. US African rhino are more of a grey colour, but when you go into your Asian species as well, they turn a little bit more brown. You've got your Javan, Sumatra and greater one horn in Asia, but you've only got 2 in Africa, your whites and your blacks. Whites are the largest species of rhino. They can reach up to 2.5 tonne. So, fair effort from an animal that just eats grass. So to all the bodybuilders here, there's a few out here I can see, this is how big you have a vegetarian diet, which is pretty cool. They just eat grass, so with their lips, there's huge muscles and tendons in their lips, and that's how they actually pick up their food. There's no front teeth at all. What they use is just 24 molars and a tiny little tongue. And that's where he pushes it side to side, chews it up, and it goes into his stomach. What he eats now doesn't come out for another 2 to 3 days later, and that's how much he can store within his body. So we're, on average, each day we're eating around 1 to 2% of his body weight, and that's all rhino, of their own body weight, and we weigh him all the time, once a week. So for him, anywhere from about 20 to 40 kilos of grass a day, which is a fair bit of grass. As you can see, Monato's not booming with grass, so we do have to feed a lot of hay throughout the day. Should be grazing anywhere from 10 to 16 hours a day, so he tends to have his head down quite a lot. If you check out that muscle behind his ears, it's actually a little bit engaged at the moment, not too much. His head's up a little bit. His head weighs over 300 kilograms, just his head, so he needs a huge muscle to bring up that head. Yeah, so he's got a big head. And that horn probably weighs anywhere from 10 to 15 kilo. Anyone know what it's made up of? Perfect, just keratin. So we can cut the horn off all the way to where it meets the skin, that definitive line, and it can grow back. Unfortunately, though, poachers will take it out of their face, and that's where the major blood vessel is, and once the blood vessel's obviously opened up, unfortunately they will pass away. 1 dies every day for that horn. That's all species of rhino, but even up to 3 days, so it can be up to 1 every 8 hours for that horn. Still used in traditional medicines, unfortunately. A status symbol. It's worth more than gold at the moment. It's fetching up to $65,000 plus for just hair, which is absolutely craziness. And then on the other side of things, people who live, on the poverty line get offered a bit of money, and they tend to take that opportunity pretty quickly because they're doing it pretty hard. So it must be quite overwhelming for those individuals. In the 1890s, there's estimated to be only less than 100 white rhino left. Now they're up to 16,000 in the wild. Yeah, so they're part of the biggest conservation effort of the century, which is really cool. Unfortunately, though, the gestation is 16 to 18 months. That's a huge turnaround. Obviously, 1 every day to 16 to 18 months gestation, and then another 6 months till she probably falls pregnant again anyway. When the baby's born, probably see where we just had a baby, which is really cool. It's already upwards of 45 kilograms when they're born, so they're quite big when they're born. They don't really fluctuate too much in size when they're pregnant. What you have to do is just take blood a lot of the time. They can come into estrus quite regularly, but in captivity they can be irregular. So we just take blood, and that will give you the progesterone level in their blood, and that will tell you she's pregnant for those 18 months. So you do